In my last video, I talked to you guys about the two things that determine how long it takes for your manifestation to come into the 3D. One of those two things was how long it takes you to embody your manifestation. So what is embodiment? Simply put, it is becoming the human form of an idea. So I'm going to explain to you today my favorite way to get to the state of embodiment. Now, sometimes it's just as simple as being exposed to an idea and immediately you can imagine yourself immersed in that thing. There's nothing stopping you. There's no blocks, and you can manifest instantly in those cases. But sometimes you need a little help getting there, and that's what all these manifestation tools and methods are about. So I'm going to explain to you the way that I go about getting to the state of embodiment when it comes to my manifestations. So the first thing I start with is, of course, identifying what it is that I want to manifest. So let's say I want to manifest an income of $50,000 a month, right? So what I do first is list out my three biggest reasons why I want to make $50K a month. So this does two things beyond just helping you get to the state of embodiment, which I'm going to explain. It helps you really identify your motivations for something. And a lot of times we get it in our heads that we want something and we have all these ideas behind it that we never really address. So sometimes we can have an income goal in mind because that's what our parents told us we should make, or that's what society says is enough to be happy. But asking yourself the whys and being really honest with yourself about why you want something can help you clarify the manifestation itself. So once you've written your whys, I like to keep it to 3 because if you go beyond that with this method that I'm going to show you, it can get kind of cumbersome. A lot of times you can be writing down your whys and you have 50 different whys. I would narrow it down to the top 3 whys because what you're going to do then is talk about what a person would be doing if they experience the why that you identified. So back to my example of making $50,000 a month. My number one why is I want to live a lifestyle of luxury and convenience. So what would a person who lives a lifestyle of luxury and convenience be doing? How would they be moving through the world? Well, in my mind, that person would always be looking for a way to delegate, looking for a way to get support. That person would always be looking for the nicest thing that they could get at the most reasonable price. So not settling for junk just because they're telling themselves they can't afford it. A person who makes a decent income like that is going to look for the best of everything. So my next step after identifying what that person would be doing is to start doing those things. There are things that you can start doing immediately in most cases when you use this method. When you write down your why and you talk about what a person would be doing if they were experiencing those things, you can usually implement that story for yourself right away. So what are some ways that I can be a person who looks for support and convenience? I can start researching meal prep companies because I don't want to make my own food, and it's something that I may have always considered to be too expensive. But if I'm trying to embody this, I'm at least going to check it out because a person who could prioritize luxury and convenience would know how much those things cost. So I could look it up and I may discover, which I actually did as a matter of fact, that some of these meal delivery and meal prep services are actually less expensive than going to the grocery store yourself. If I'm a person that's always looking for the best of something, instead of just going to, I don't know, the dollar store when I'm looking for my Christmas decorations, I may go to Home Goods instead. Not saying that's like a super upgrade, but I may go there instead because that's what a person who prioritizes luxury and convenience would do. And I may look up and find some high quality Christmas decorations that cost the same as I would have spent at the dollar store. So there's things that you can start doing immediately so that you begin to behave like a person that prioritizes luxury and convenience. And it all came from your why. Why do you want to make $50K a month? Because you want to be a person who lives a lifestyle of luxury and convenience. Another reason why I would want to make $50K a month is because I'd be able to easily support causes that I'm passionate about. And I'm not just talking about charities, I'm talking about things that my family wants to do. You know, like we have land that we own and land that we're fighting for the rights back to, I would be able to take the time and the resources to get behind that effort. So if that's my goal and I'm trying to embody that, I may do some research on what it takes to get the support that we need in those areas, which I actually did. This is a real example. And I may find some free resources in the meantime and just get a better understanding of what it would take if I was the type of person that could tackle something like that because I had the means. Whatever your third why is, write that down and then write down what a person who is experiencing that would be doing. And the things that you write down about your three whys, once you answer the question of why 3 different ways, that's going to become your story for yourself. That's going to become your scripting text. That's going to become your affirmation. So my new affirmations and my new daily scripting would involve me doing things that prioritize luxury and convenience. It would involve me doing things that get behind missions that I'm passionate about. It would involve me understanding my finances and what it would take to get to a certain level because I expect that I'm going to have the resources to do so. And these are all things that I can do without actually having that $50K a month coming in just yet. And then what happens is, because I start to behave like the person that has the thing that I want, and I've done it using my personal why, then I start to look for opportunities to get to where I'm trying to go. I start to look for those opportunities naturally through my reticular activating system that will get me to a $50K a month salary. It'll almost seem like it's an accident, but really what's happening is my subconscious thought processes, every step I take is leading me closer to that goal, training my brain to naturally move towards those things. And I'm going to do a video on quantum manifesting soon, but really what I'm doing is selecting the reality. Every time I think about the things that I would do if I had $50K a month, according to what's important to me and my whys, I'm choosing to focus my attention on a reality where that thing is real. And the more I choose to focus my attention on that reality, the more I move into it. And that's the whole point of all the exercises, like I said, all of the scripting, all of the affirmations, is to get us to give our attention, which is quantum manifesting, to materializing the reality that we want from all the potential realities that could exist. Every time we have a thought that supports the version of ourselves that we don't want, we're moving ourselves closer to that reality. Every time we devote our attention and energy to the things that we do want, we are selecting that new reality. So this exercise is important for a couple of reasons. Number one, it helps you to identify your motivations behind your manifestation, which means that once you receive the manifestation, it will be aligned with your true desires. I can't tell you how many times that I have manifested something that I did not actually want because I didn't examine my motivations. And if I had just identified my personal why, then I would have not lost the time manifesting something I don't want, and I would have gotten something that was so much more fulfilling. And secondly, it causes us to focus our attention on being the person who has the things that we want. And ultimately, getting the thing won't even matter. If I'm moving through life as a person who lives a life of luxury and convenience, if I'm a person who's moving through life supporting causes that I care about, if I'm a person moving through life stress-free when it comes to money, then haven't I obtained what it was that I was seeking through having the $50K a month income? So when the $50K a month income does come, it won't seem like you manifested it. It will seem like it was supposed to happen. It will seem almost like a coincidence. And that, to me, is the most fun way to manifest because you can almost immediately start to experience the thing you were hoping to experience without even having the manifestation come up in your 3D. So just to recap, number one, identify what it is that you want to manifest, which is, probably the easiest part. Number two, write down all the reasons why and be very honest with yourself. For example, I want to manifest a luxury car. And I'm not going to have some altruistic reason for doing so. I want to manifest a luxury car because it feels good to sit in them. They're luxurious and I get treated like royalty when I'm at the dealership. So those are my whys. And after that, ask yourself what a person would be doing who was experiencing those things. How would that person move about? What kinds of thoughts would that person be having? And use that as your affirmations or your scripting text so that you can just start to move as that person and you've got embodiment out of the way. I hope this was helpful.